In 2001, a researcher named Elizabeth von Muggenthaler published a paper that should have changed how every cat owner in the world understands purring. She recorded the purrs of 44 cats across 5 species, analysed the frequencies and found something remarkable. The dominant frequencies fell between 25 and 50 Hz. That range, 25 to 50 Hz, is the exact range that medical research has linked to bone density stimulation, pain relief, and tissue regeneration. Cats did not evolve purring to tell humans they are happy. They evolved it to heal themselves. That paper is over 20 years old now, and somehow almost every cat video on the internet still opens with the same line: "Your cat purrs because she loves you." That is not wrong exactly, but it is so incomplete that it becomes misleading. In the last 3 videos, I have mentioned purring several times, and each time I said we would get to it. This is that video. And it changes everything that comes after. Here is what most channels say: cat purrs, cat is happy, cat purrs on your lap, cat loves you, cat purrs at the vet, cat is nervous but trusting. That last one is where the framework falls apart. A cat at the vet is not trusting. A cat at the vet is terrified, and she is still purring. Not because she feels safe, because her nervous system has activated a mechanism designed to regulate extreme stress. That is not love, that is survival. And once you see the difference, you cannot unsee it. Let us talk about the mechanism itself. Purring is produced by the rapid contraction and relaxation of the laryngeal muscles in the throat. These contractions happen at a rate of about 25 to 150 times per second, creating a vibration that resonates through the entire body. It happens on both inhale and exhale, which is why a purr sounds continuous. The cat does not decide to purr the way a person decides to speak. Purring is closer to an automatic process, triggered by the nervous system in response to certain internal states. Those states include comfort, yes, but they also include pain, fear, injury, and the approach of death. Not all cats purr at the same frequency or volume. Some cats produce a purr so quiet it can only be felt by placing a hand on the chest. Others vibrate loudly enough to hear across a room. The variation is partly genetic, partly situational. A cat purring softly in a warm lap and a cat purring loudly in a carrier on the way to the vet are using the same mechanism at different intensities. The volume is not a measure of happiness. It is a measure of how hard the nervous system is working. Von Muggenthaler's research showed that the frequencies of domestic cat purrs cluster around 25 Hz and 50 Hz. Studies in human medicine have shown that vibrations in this range promote bone healing, reduce inflammation, and accelerate tissue repair. The hypothesis is straightforward. Cats that purred healed faster. Over millions of years, purring became embedded in the species as a default response to physical and emotional stress. It is worth noting that cats are not the only animals that purr. Cheetahs purr, bobcats purr. Even some genets and civets produce purr-like vibrations, but domestic cats are the only species that purr in the presence of humans routinely and consistently. That fact alone suggests something important. The mechanism is ancient and biological. The context in which it happens around people is something newer, something layered on top of the original function. It is not a communication tool that was later adapted for self-healing. It is a self-healing tool that humans later interpreted as communication. That distinction matters enormously. Now the difficult part. Veterinarians have documented cats purring while in severe pain, after car accidents, during kidney failure, in the final hours before euthanasia. There are accounts from vets and hospice workers describing cats who purred continuously as their organs shut down. This is not happiness. This is not comfort. This is a body running its last available repair mechanism at maximum capacity. One of my cats, the oldest, a white cat named Pearl who lived to be 19, purred for the last 3 days of her life. She was not eating. She was barely moving. Her breathing was shallow, and the purr was constant, low, steady, unbroken. At the time, I thought she was at peace. Looking back, I understand what was happening. Her system was doing the only thing it knew how to do. It was trying to fix what could not be fixed. That sound was not a message to me. It was a process running inside her. So how does an owner actually tell what a purr means? There are 3 signals that matter, and all of them are outside the purr itself. First, body posture. A cat that is purring with a soft belly, half-closed eyes and relaxed ears is almost certainly in a positive state. A cat that is purring with tense muscles, flattened ears, or a tucked tail is not. The purr is identical in both cases. The body tells the truth. Second, context. When did the purring start? Was the cat just picked up against her will? Did a stranger enter the room? Did the cat just come back from the vet? A purr that begins immediately after a stressful event is a self-soothing response, not an expression of pleasure. There is also a type of purr that happens specifically around food, sometimes called the solicitation purr. Research from the University of Sussex found that cats embed a higher frequency cry within the purr when they want to be fed. The resulting sound is more urgent, more difficult to ignore. Most owners respond to it without knowing why it feels different from a regular purr. It is not affection. It is a learned acoustic strategy. Third, duration and intensity. A calm, intermittent purr during a relaxed evening is probably what most people think it is. A contented cat. A loud, continuous, unbroken purr that goes on for hours, especially in a cat that does not normally purr that much, is a flag. It does not always mean something is wrong, but it means the nervous system is working harder than usual. That is worth paying attention to. Here is why this myth matters more than the others. Every other myth we have discussed in this series, slow blinking, the belly, head-butting, sleeping next to the owner, those are about misreading a signal. The owner assigns the wrong label to a real behaviour. The purring myth is different. It is not just about mislabeling, it is about missing information that could save a life. A cat that purrs constantly after a fall might have internal injuries. A cat that starts purring during sleep when she never used to might be in chronic pain. A cat that purrs through her final days is not at peace in the way most people want to believe. If the owner thinks purring equals happiness, they wait. They assume everything is fine. They miss the window when a vet visit could have made the difference. Shelters see this pattern regularly. A newly adopted cat purring in its carrier gets described as happy and settled. In reality, that cat may be terrified. The purr is not consent, it is coping. Misreading it means missing the first critical hours when the cat needs quiet, space and darkness, not handling. And that is not a mistake of interpretation. That is a consequence of a myth that an entire industry keeps repeating because it makes people feel good. The truth is not less beautiful, it is just more precise. Purring is a mechanism that exists because it helps cats survive. When a cat purrs on your lap in the evening with soft eyes and a loose body, she is probably comfortable. When a cat purrs while pressing against your hand with her forehead and slow blinking, that combination of signals is about as close to affection as feline biology gets. But the purr alone, without the body, without the context, without the pattern, does not tell you enough. It never did. If purring is not a reliable indicator of how a cat feels, what is? How do you read an animal whose emotional signals are this subtle? In the next video, we are going to look at how cats actually perceive the people they live with. Not as big cats, not as parents. The research suggests something more interesting than either of those, and it starts with a question that most people have never thought to ask.